Hello, once again, I'm BR Schultz. You may have noticed that I've renamed my channel to S&P 500 AI Singularity Outcomes or Timing. And the reason being is that I realize that my models are a little bit more than just timing. They encompass a lot of what I would consider AI, a lot of intelligence baked into my models, that they're not just graphs, they're actually intelligent models. And so they predict a singular or singularity outcome. As Elon Musk and some of the other tech bros have stated, that the goal of some of computers focusing on predicting future events or singular outcomes and how they can change those outcomes has become a bigger and bigger topic nowadays. And so I realized that this was the concept that I came up with for my own work about 20 years ago. I had a similar thought or theory as I was taking engineering classes. I thought that there should be some way to predict a singular outcome. Basically, predict the future with historical data was my motto at that time. So if anyone's been following my blog, you'll notice that the model's been extremely accurate lately. I've been able to trade it very, very well in the last week or so. So I think everything is coming together. So I really like it. Really enjoying this. But crypto, on the other hand, has always been a thorn in my side. And so obviously I look at the lower scales, try to figure out the lower scale models can understand or find the rhythm, find the predictive singularity curve for future peaks, bottoms, things of that nature. And it's been very difficult to do with crypto. This dark blue line that you're looking at, or was it like a navy blue, if you will, squiggly line, if you will, sine wave line. Basically, it takes all the pricing of XRPUSD, and then I multiply it by 1,000 to get a much larger number than just a small decimal value for XRP value. And then what I did is I moved it into a 60-minute algorithm that I built and put it in the peak model. And lo and behold, I found that the navy blue line actually was able to predict a number of the peaks that occurred in XRPUSD on a macro scale. So it predicted that there'd be a macro peak in two macro peaks in July of 2025, and then it predicted there'd be a macro peak around August 13th in 2025, based on the 1, 2, 3 concept there that you see. And so then it also predicted that the market would, or it aligned with the market peak for XRPUSD around the 5th of January 2026. You can see the 1, 2, 3 there as well. And then you can see that there's a 1, 2, 3 going out to roughly the middle of March. So that I believe that's going to be the Fed meeting date in the middle of March, right around there, I should say. So I'm going long here. For into that time frame. So I think that we're bottoming here. The Fed meeting in January is tomorrow, and I believe that we have a very strong probability that markets could go up, or that XRPUSD could take a very strong move upwards and then hit its final peak around mid-March there on the Fed meeting. So I'm all in with about 20K. Of my own personal account, and then I'll trade my 401k on the S&P 500 going forward. The S&P 500 I think will go sideways into the end of March, late March, and yeah. So I'm having a lot of fun in 2026 so far. I think the model's been exceptional, extraordinary. I'm looking for a peak tomorrow on January 28th. And it's always a plus or minus. So it could be, plus or minus a half a day. So it could be early morning, the 29th, it could be late day today. But I have a peak model that says essentially that there will be a peak in the S&P 500 around that time. And then obviously I use my own indicators, things of that nature, my own moving average system that I built all from ground up. And so I think then the markets are working on a low into roughly the very early February timeframe. And I think it's funny that the Democrats and Trump are both fighting for the narrative into the crash low in the markets around early February, because the Democrats are like, we're going to shut down the government, and Trump's like, I'm going to put tariffs at the same time that you're trying to shut down the government. So it's funny to me because the model suggests that there's a major or there's a medium term bottom around early February. This is what my models are pointing to for the S&P 500. And so to me, it's very interesting how to some degree I wonder if presidents have access to some type of S&P 500 modeling that they're able to tell where the markets bottom. Maybe not precisely right, but maybe pretty close to a rough guess. Like, right, it may not have the exact numbers of the S&P 500 where it's going to bottom, but it could have like a rough estimate for timing, right? You could have like some type of heartbeat type of wave that shows that there's going to be a bottom around early February. So, and then I was wondering, does Congress have, does someone in Congress have a donor or a main figure behind them that is trying to get them to time their passage of bills and things with their models? It's very complex, yet very simple. I have yet to understand completely how historical data does a really good job of predicting the future. I've been able to model it. I've been able to graph it. But to get down to the nano scale and be able to tell you which came first, the chicken or the egg in this game, is very difficult. But I would still argue that historical data predicts the future. It predicts the singularity outcomes of the future. I predicted, or my models predicted, that there'd be a major bottom around the 19th or 20th of January at the end of December of 2025. That happened. It predicted there'd be another bottom around the 23rd, plus or minus, and that also happened. So thank you for joining me on B.R. Schultz. Until next time, take care.